Welcome back, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video and tuning back in. And today we're actually going to be talking about the last phase of the cycle, which is the luteal phase, which normally people are like, this one is kind of the worst, but honestly, it's probably become my favorite phase of the cycle. And there's some reasons for that I'm going to get into today, but I also just really like it because if you use the other phases of the cycle to really prepare for this time can actually be really beneficial and just a nice reset and time to just relax and take care of yourself and all the things. And then also, fun fact about this video that you can already see is you're going to get a sneak peek taste into some of the garden work and chicken coop and all the things related to that we have been working on. And I hope to I will probably address some of the stuff that we actually have done specifically to prep and do for those things, but also you'll probably see a common trend in my coming videos will be just a lot of you'll see these things happening and just see a lot of that footage, and then I'll just be doing voiceovers on top of it talking about who knows what. So yeah, it'll be a mix of all the things. But we're going to get right into talking about the luteal phase today, which is the day after you're done ovulating all the way up until the day that you start your period. And so this time you're going to start this first week. So it's about 2 weeks, and you'll be about this first week still having a good amount of energy and things like that. But as the time goes on, you'll start to feel your body decrease as far as energy goes and focus, and just what you have the mental and physical capacity to do will start to decrease during this time. So I specifically like to give myself a little bit more time to sleep during this phase. So I'll sleep in for an extra 30 minutes or an hour and still stick to my morning routine, but it just gets pushed back a little bit because sleeping is really essential during this time, just to give your body the time to prepare and heal and repair itself, and just have the correct amount of sleep to give your body the processes that it's normally able to do. But you need to make sure you're taking care of yourself and, like I said, giving yourself the proper amount of sleep to make sure those functions happen. And as far as workouts go during this time, be gentle on your body. There's really no benefit in really trying to do hardcore HIIT workouts or really excessive long workouts, because it actually will cause your body to fight against what you're doing, because it's almost going into like protection mode. So it kind of gives the opposite effect of it's holding on to the fat in your body, it's holding on to the stress and all of that, because this is not the time to push yourself, because you're not going to be able to push yourself as easily as you are in other phases. So trying to avoid those kinds of workouts and save them, if you are into HIIT workouts and stuff like that, save those for the other phases of your cycle, as far as like follicular and your ovulation day and all of that. And during this time, walking, really low impact workouts. So I typically just walk multiple miles during this phase and really enjoy that, because it's a good way to get your body moving and to also reset your mind and get outside and all of that stuff. And it will help you work out and move your body, but it's going to be very gentle. And so light cardio and getting some sun exposure and all of that, walking, all of that will do that in just the walking. And stretching your body is super good, because you'll be able to start feeling during this time your muscles will just get a little more crampy and tight, and you'll feel more sore and all of that. So stretching is going to be a really good way to combat that. And doing Pilates and yoga and workouts like that will be beneficial to your body, and it will be useful, and your body will respond well to that. So it's still good to maintain working out during this phase, but just adjusting your workouts to modify with the phase and what your body can handle. And prioritizing quiet time and journaling, and just kind of really resetting your mind and I have to really ask the Holy Spirit to guide me a lot more during this phase, because I know I'm going to be quicker to stress and quicker to my emotions and all of that during this phase. So just really prioritizing my quiet time and kind of journaling my thoughts and keeping track of them and keeping them written down, and all of that is going to be really beneficial as well. And of course, eating high protein breakfast, especially starting your day off like that, is really essential to keep your cortisol levels level throughout the day, which is also how your hormones get produced. So that way you will also keep your hormones more level and give the correct amount of protein for your body to keep producing things the way it was meant to. But then also eating protein throughout the day is going to be really essential and beneficial for your body. I kind of like to follow what I'm trying to get better at lately in my own life is eating every 2 to 3 hours and it being a pretty high protein snack or meal or whatever. So technically your meals become a little smaller in quantity more frequently and there's high protein in them. And so that will keep your cortisol levels straight or level throughout the day. And again, that helps with hormone production and just aiding your body in a lot of beneficial ways. And so I also like to really prioritize my skincare routine and just my nighttime routine altogether because one, your skin is more sensitive during this time. So whatever products you have that are high quality and non-toxic are going to be really good for you, and just using that time to one, use it as like a self-care, calming, relaxing routine is also really nice, but using it, making sure it's high quality ingredients and products is really important because that also matters equally, if not more, what you're putting on your body. And doing a lymphatic drainage routine is also really a good idea because your lymphatic system is easily clogged, and it's just going to be a good way to release more of that bloat and extra water weight and all those things that stick with your body. It'll help with the puffiness and all of that you feel during this time, and that's good to implement in the other phases too, but especially in the luteal phase because your body just feels more swollen and puffy and all of that. So getting that lymphatic system drained and flushed out will be really helpful. And if any of y'all are interested in more of these routines specifically, or what the benefits are, or how you do them and all of that, please feel free to comment below or let me know on my Instagram or anything like that, because I'd be more than happy to kind of show a bit more details of those routines specifically because they are really important. And I do castor oil, which is super good for your gut health and liver functions especially. So you can do the patches, or I also just take a little bit of oil and rub it on my abdomen every night and it will absorb, and that's really beneficial for you as well also during the luteal phase because it will help start prepping your body and preparing it to not cramp as bad when you get your period. And then I also take supplements. I take them every day, but during your luteal phase it's extra important. And if anybody's ever interested in those two, I swear by them. I truly believe they are the biggest thing that's had the impact on how much I've healed my periods and don't have hardly any cramping, if any at all, anymore, and can actually function during my periods and all of that. So they have truly changed my life. And like I said, if anybody's interested in knowing really what my supplements regimen and all of that is actually, please let me know because I would love to share. And it's all been part of the journey that I've had to healing my hormones naturally and balancing them and really learning my body and what is going to suit me well. And it's been an ongoing process for a couple years now. So don't get discouraged if you're not able to fix yourself right away, because it's going to take time and you got to figure out which amounts of things and which things in general actually will be beneficial to you. But it is possible, and I am a testament to that because I truly thought that that would never be my case and that I would just always be absolutely miserable. But I stand here to tell you today that that is actually not the case, and that's why I'm saying like the luteal phase and my period and all that don't scare me away anymore, because even though you don't necessarily feel your 100% best, it's just nice to be able to know what's coming and know what to expect from your body and know what you can do to take care of it and benefit it. And then also knowing that my periods are not this horrible, terrible, begging my mom to take me to the hospital kind of scenario anymore. They are actually very doable, and I can still function, and my body feels like it's supposed to during that time, like what a woman was meant to go through, rather than something absolutely terrible and completely shutting down my life for a few days. So anyways, that's my little side tangent. Another thing I've really implemented too, especially during this time, is really trying to be screen free as much as possible. And especially I don't get on my phone for the first hour of the day that I'm awake, and try to get outside and get some sun in my eyes first. And then I don't get on my phone within at least an hour, if not a couple more hours before I go to bed at night. So that I highly recommend doing. There's so many benefits to that altogether, but it's just also a good way to wind down and things like that. So during this time, the food that's going to be really beneficial for you is, I try and have in the past really succeeded. I won't even lie to y'all. It's been not something I've done super well in the recent couple months, but that's also a testament to how much the supplements and stuff have helped me, because even without doing this, I'm still functioning well during my period. But avoiding gluten, dairy, refined sugar, caffeine, and alcohol during the luteal phase is really beneficial for you, because those things are all high in inflammation. They're very inflammatory foods, and what you want to do during this time is avoid inflammatory foods. So really searching for anti-inflammatory foods is going to be really, really, really beneficial. So that's a lot of like antioxidants, which is berries, strawberries, blueberries, all the things like that. Eating just very clean, whole foods is going to be really beneficial for you. And I could not stress that enough, because that's what I started with doing for several months at a time, and that really changed the game. And I can just notice a whole big change in my body when I'm not eating those things, especially the 2 weeks leading up to my period, because it allows my body to just flush out everything, and then all the inflammation that's in my body goes away. So then it's really helpful when the cramps come, and when all the soreness and swelling comes when I do start my period and right before it, that it does not impact it near as much, because I don't have all those lovely inflammatory foods in my body for it to just eat on and make 10 times worse, you know? Drinking lots and lots and lots and lots of water will be very good. You need to stay hydrated. It's very important that you're staying hydrated during this time, and also just flushing out your system with that. And then, like I was saying, focus on a lot of anti-inflammatory, antioxidant foods during this time. And along with the exercises and workouts that I was describing earlier, some of the things that are beneficial for you to do in this time are cleaning and kind of nesting is the word I like. I know most women say that they do that when they're pregnant, but it's kind of true when you're like about to enter this phase of your cycle as well. It just makes you want to be like, I want to clean home. I want to purge things. I want just everything to feel put together and safe and cozy and everything before I start my period, so then I don't have to worry about that and I can relax. And this is not the time. Now, if you're me, I'm a social butterfly all the time, and I never know how to not be busy. So side note to myself, I need to work on that. But during this time, when and if you can, prioritizing time to yourself and just taking it easy, having more nights in home, and just having more quiet and peaceful outings or times to yourself, and all that is going to be really beneficial, because your body, like I said, it's just not as on high gear as it normally is during the other phases. And so I think it's ironic that we actually have our luteal phase is the longest amount of time in our cycle, 2 weeks. And I definitely don't think it's ironic that our bodies were meant to rest and meant to slow down during this phase. And one of the things that our world and myself and I struggle with the most is to rest and take care of ourselves in that way. And so I think it's not by accident that the Lord made this for us women to have to go through and to really be mindful of, and that He wants us to take care of ourselves and wants us to rest. And does that mean that things don't still have to get done? No, they absolutely do. But you can be very cognizant of that and disciplined, and really have a process and intentional time of how you're going to figure that out and get things done, while also still prioritizing rest and taking care of yourself. And so regulating your stress levels ties into all of that, which is important, because the more you're stressed and stuff, that's also why you break out more. That's why you have more cramps. That's why you feel crappier, and all of that is because you're stressed. Your body does not like stress, and during this phase, your body is preparing to host a fertilized egg. Whether it happens or not, your body's preparing for that. And so of course it's basically like on high defenders of like anything that's going to disrupt my peace, I'm going to freak out at, because I'm about to try and host new life in my body and I don't want to do that. So that's why regulating your stress levels and keeping your cortisol levels even is going to be very, very, very important. And all of these things that I've been mentioning prior are good ways to do that and be mindful of. And spending as much time outside as you possibly can. One, because the sun is really good for you. The fresh air is really good for you. I learned something the other day that the sound of like birds chirping is one of the most serotonin, serenity sounds that you could ever hear. And so getting outside and listening to that is going to be really beneficial. And also journaling and reading, and sit down and watch a movie with your favorite healthy snack, and bake. I love to bake during this phase. I don't know if I'm the only one, but like I literally will just get the inkling to be like, I want cookies, I want brownies or whatever. And guess what? The best thing about baking stuff at home is you can be mindful of your ingredients and you can find a healthy alternative recipe, so you can get your yummy snacks and treats that you like, but make them something that's still going to be beneficial to your body. Like there's a brownie that I started making that I enjoy, that the base is not even sugar. There's no sugar in it, like no refined sugar. It's sweet potatoes is the base, and it's super sweet and has honey in it, and it still tastes really good. And then it also has like a cocoa powder that I put in that has ashwagandha and lion's mane and all that stuff, which is really nice for you during this time to just kind of, keep you zen, help with your mind to not do all the crazy things that we women have. And then they're so delicious, and it fills the chocolate inkling and the sweets inkling, and it's just the best thing. So remind me, I'm going to be making those this time I go into this part of my cycle. And so doing your favorite relaxing hobby, like painting is one of my favorites, and just finding some craft or something to do. I enjoy doing that, and getting outside and reading, even though I don't do it as much, that's also one of my favorites. So finding your favorite hobby and giving yourself some time to do that. This is a really good time in your phase to do that, in the phases of the cycle, I mean. And taking hot showers and baths to help regulate and just relax your body. So basically, this is why I love this phase, because it's an excuse and a reminder to us girls to just be like, life is going to go on. All the things in life are still going to be there tomorrow, but my body needs from me to just take it a little easier. And again, it's still very much a discipline, because no, the Lord is not like abandon everything that's going on in your life and use this as an excuse to not get anything done or to just be lazy and all of that. No, that's not it at all. But he also had very, very high intentions and purpose to why he made us the way he did. And so being mindful of what things we can do to, like I said, prepare in the other phases of our cycle to save us a little bit of extra work during this time, or to just really grind it out for a few hours in the day and then be cautious and cognizant of what our body needs the rest of the day, and give ourselves time to rest and relax and take care of ourselves in any and all of these ways that I've mentioned, and just finding the appropriate balance of what that is. And like I said, at the first part of your luteal phase, you very well may be able to keep up pretty much with your normal workload and all the things, running around, doing whatever you need to do. But the second half of the luteal phase, up until your period, you're going to be more down and out, all of that. So just be mindful of that and just really get to know yourself and know the reason why we were made this way, and that periods and the phases of our cycle and all that don't have to be this super dreadful, horrible thing that we have to deal with. And instead it can be a really beautiful thing, and there's purpose and intention to every phase, like I've said, and what things we can do to enhance that and aid our bodies. And just, it's really cool to just have the empowerment of knowing what's going on in my body when, and what my body needs from me. And that way we can maximize what we're capable of, and what the other people around us are going to get our best selves from that, and we are going to get our best selves from that. And just how cool, like, I just think it was so hard to be a girl for me for so long, but it's so cool how redemptive that's been, of just through this process learning about what we were actually meant to experience, and that it doesn't have to be this horrible, terrible thing. And just that it's really cool to be a girl, because men don't get to do this. They have a literal 24-hour hormone cycle, and that's it. And then they repeat the same thing the next day. No, there's so much purpose and intention behind why we have a 28 to 32 day cycle, and why we go through this over the month, and our body needs different things from us at those times. So tap into that and take some time to learn more of what your body needs and all of that. And if you have any more questions about anything, please never hesitate to comment or reach out to me or anything like that. I would love to share more and help with more specific things tailored to you. And I hope that these videos for the phases of the cycle were beneficial to you, and that you learned something, and that it encourages you to go out and implement something in your life and learn something more about your body and what your body needs from you, and just how cool it is that God made us the way he did. So thanks so much for listening, and I will see you in some future YouTube videos. Bye!